another cool thing that you can do, a really good opportunity, is when you're creating this content with all these, when people have all these problems and all these issues, what you can do is you can also create these videos and send them to news reporters, because right now the reporters are looking for so much content that they can create, content that they can put out there, because there's only so many, the coronavirus is a big story, but there's so many problems that other people have, that if you can go take these videos and also get them in front of news reporters and journalists and things like that, then what'll end up happening is you'll end up getting featured on the news as well, and then that's even more credibility that you can go and share. And what that does is that'll get you in front of more people, it'll get you more advertising, more free content, all that type of stuff, and then it'll also form a relationship with you, because people always take the path of least resistance. So when this thing is over, it's only going to be a couple months, but this thing will be over. Now you've got contacts in the media that whenever they have a question related to immigration or criminal offense or estate planning or whatever it is, they're going to come to you, and you now have that, free publicity wheel right there.
People in the chat talking about how they're a criminal defense attorney and it's slow. And this is something that you can do that Andy mentioned before, is tell people what their rights are if there is a lockdown, if there is a shutdown, if you have been laid off. And if you can be fortunate enough to get into the media and kind of deal with these things, you become, again, like an expert. You become the guy that they want to go to. But I'm always surprised when I deal with like reporters and stuff like that they actually want to hear from me. I always assume that they're busy and they have big stories to cover, but they're looking and they're interested to hear from you. So if you reach out to a reporter, they're not going to tell you, no, what you have is dumb. They're going to appreciate your feedback, and they're probably going to feature you in at least a story.
Absolutely. You got to remember, like, anytime you can be valuable to anyone, it's going to be in your favor, and reporters are human. I mean, they've got deadlines. They half the time they're going for clicks, right? So they're always trying to figure out, okay, what else can I talk about? What else can I talk about? And a lot of times they don't know. So if you can give them valuable stories, and here's the thing you should do. The best way to do this is to do as much work for them as possible. So rather than just saying, hey, it'd be really cool if you did a story on this, you should actually take the time, film a video, record the video. And actually, if you do like a 2-minute video, you can even send it to them on Twitter, because Twitter is actually where most of the reporters hang out. So what you want to do is you want to go to Google and search for, like ABC, wherever you're located. So like I'm in Tampa, so it'd be like ABC Tampa local reporters, and then NBC Tampa local reporters, and just go through, do that for the newspaper and everyone. And then just kind of start looking at which types of articles and what types of pieces they've put out. And then ones that have done things that are kind of similar, like even somewhat similar to anything that you could talk about, start sending them story ideas and do a lot of the work for you. And don't just say, hey, you could talk about this, but tell them why they can talk about this and how many people it impacts and what, like, do a lot of the work for them, because you got to remember, people will follow the path of least resistance. If you give them a story that's pretty much ready to go, they're going to use it because it's less work. It's just human nature,
Yeah. Actually, Chase Musser posted a great tip. Twitter is a great place to find journalists.
Yeah.
What you can do is you can go to your local media and just see who's writing the articles about what you're trying to get into, and then try to find them on Twitter, or you can find them on the website. Just Google their name. I usually, I have a good example. I have a scholarship that we do every year with my company, and we try to get it in local media and papers and stuff like that, just for the buzz and to get more applicants so that we can help more people. So we reached out to this local Rhode Island newspaper, and my colleague Joe, he was a journalist major at Stony Brook like years back. So he says the same thing. They don't want to do any of the work. You do all the work for them, and they decide whether or not they want to use that information. Mm-hmm. So we wrote up this whole human interest piece on this guy that we gave the scholarship to. We didn't even really mention ourselves. And the scholarship ended up getting featured in the newspaper. And all the person wrote back to me was, oh, can I have his contact information? I want to call him, ask him about his childhood, his upbringing. And he just needs to sign this release form for us to use his picture in the paper. And it went up like a week later. Yeah. So it's really easy. They're really easygoing, and everything Andy said is true. Make them do a lot less work than you think they want to do, and just provide them with all the information, because ultimately you want your information to be featured in the piece and you to be the expert. So definitely, that was great.
And what's cool is they'll keep coming back to you over and over and over again, because they know that if they come back to you, if they go to you, you're going to give them really good content. So it just works really, really well. We had a client today's Monday. So last not last Friday, but the Friday before that, she started doing this. She's a personal injury attorney down in Miami, and she started tagging the local radio DJs. I'm not sure exactly what she was doing, but she was definitely doing something where she was providing them with a lot of information. She's a personal injury attorney, and she ended up, now she's like on they bring her on like once a week. And she's not paying for it, but she's basically just giving them such good information that they brought her on last week. I think they're having her on again this week. And it's really blown up for her, and she's gotten really good results out of it.